The adults, please.
All right. So, Mr. Ludi, let's get off that. Let's talk about the Great Chicken Caper. Everybody familiar with that? Where the chickens, rotted chicken bags got kicked into the Bull Junior River Creek? Who's the man that pulled them out? That was last year, on the 4th of July. Some kids were playing by the Bull Junior where the Samson comes together. There were 10 bags or more of rotting chickens. Our officers kicked those bags into the Bull Junior Creek and said, we'll let nature take care of it. Nobody responded. That should have went to the Marathon County Health Department. Mr. Charneski got a call. He went in there with his waders and took that rot out of the creek. Out of the creek. That man over there. You guys gotta sit there and criticize him. Who's the man that found $200,000 worth of lost interest from Downey who did not move our funds? Mr. Charneski. You, Mr. Vole, hired an attorney because your wife didn't like Kim Tapper's sign.
That's not true.
And you called it, yes, it was, I was on the board, domestic terrorist. You accused him of being
I didn't hire anybody.
anyway, he did.
I did not.
And in closing, the Vedviks are sullying everyone they can who is a political enemy to them. He went around with his petition, and I've got a witness who came forth when you were petitioning for that ethics commission. You had 7 of you, there's one of them over there, you went around and petitioned, and the guy said they never asked me about an ethics thing. All they did is complain about you and Mr. Prohaska and accused me of being a partner. You've even said it.
That is not true.
That's not true either. Anyway, Joel, it's been not.
Well, you know, you're terrible. For the real person that's the shame of this village is Mr. Chris Vole, right there.
Yeah, that's right.
I know it's right. Please resign.
Well, let's keep this kangaroo court going, as you so-calledly put it, and let's get Dave Baker's comments.
You can pop out of here anytime, sir.
Sooner the better.
Next time first, you guys are gonna vacate the room. You can't sit here and be civil, and you can leave.
My name is Dave Baker. I live at 690 Nepal Road in Kronenwetter. I've lived in Kronenwetter since 1993. Lived in Cedar from 93 to 2000 and my current location since 2000. And I served as the County Board Supervisor representing District 23 for the 22 to 24. I was lied about and smeared in the press, much like Charneski is. And I can stand here today and say, I have never been more embarrassed to be a Kronenwetter resident than I am this evening. Thank you.
Next up is Faye Buckner.
Faye Buckberger, 824 West Nelson Road in Kronenwetter. It appears that the staff appreciation luncheon held recently was a success. Looks like everybody had a great time. Social media posts quickly pointed out, though, which members chose to participate and which did not. Wasn't necessary. This kind of material heightens the division that's already present in this room. Cindy did not participate, Ken did not participate. It's pointed out that these people did not feel the desire to participate. It causes additional tension among staff and among the board members. There may be many reasons that Cindy or Ken did not participate, such as fiscal reasons. It could be that they have an introverted personality and just don't care to join in on such item. Personal disinterest in doing lunch or diet preferences and even time constraints. For example, Cindy works during the day. She would not be able to attend. Such gifts could also be construed as political favoritism. It should be avoided by elected officials. I believe there's a more appropriate manner, and that would be to promote harmony between the staff and elected officials by having the village board approve the luncheon and pay for the luncheon out of the village funds. That way, there's no discrepancy as to who's providing the lunch. There's no political, anybody suggesting there is, and there's no one being pointed out as not participating or participating. This would alleviate any impression of favoritism and would encourage overall goodwill between the staff and the board. Thank you.
All right, that concludes public comment. Item number 3, reports from staff and vendors.
Chris, I just want to say that my answers to these reporters are at KenChernesky.com. For anyone who wants to see the other side of the story.
So are you filling in tonight, LT?
Yeah,
Take it away.
okay. Any questions on what we have on here? In addition to the events that we have going this week, we had to add another one that we normally do for Northland Luther, and that is the ballistics. Every year for physics, they ask us to come and do that. They're gonna do it this time, the students. They found the interest in it, and so now the students wanna do it. And we're just participating and helping the projectile.
Do you have any comments, questions? All right, thanks, LT. Moving on to the fire chief's report.
Any questions on the fire chief's report?
Yeah, I heard that the ladder truck was damaged, hitting a tree.
No,
Okay, that's just what I heard, that's why I'm asking.
no, engine one had some damage done from a tree in December of 22.
Okay, that's why I'm asking.
Anything else for? All right, thanks, Reed. Moving on to administrator report. Leonard.
Thank you, President. So my administrative report, I want to just concentrate on a couple of highlights. Of course, I'd like to thank the board and the residents here of the Kronenwetter for giving me the opportunity to serve. I'll be moving on for new employment opportunities, and I guess that's big news tonight. So we did get a new tractor and a mower today. I got to pose with that, got in the cab, beautiful case tractor, mower. In the truck projects that I'll be kind of handing off here with President Bull and staff members, Kronenwetter design, drive design continues on, the 25% level, A and B phases, and lift station 8 and 4 it also proceeds. We have a presentation tonight, and I want to give all credit for that, and I've done it at the committee level to our utility operator, Mark Mackey, for discovering $800,000 worth of savings. Sometimes the operators are the ones that pull out the surprise. So that's what will be presented tonight. And also, a big event this week, or this past week, was well number 2 being rebuilt and added on to the connectivity to our new water treatment plant. I thank the residents for helping with that, and I wanted to engage them in that by conserving some water. We had some touch and go moments here with that well, and we did get it rebuilt on time on the 10th, on Friday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We continue to go according to our budget that was approved last year, some capital budget items that we're going after here for proposals. One thing, there's a typo in my administrator's report for the generator that will be replaced on lift station 2. It's actually $150,000 budget. Apart from that, I do want to concentrate on this report on the things that we have accomplished. So I tend to feel that I'm part of the village board and we make progress together. So there are many things that have been accomplished here since I became a public works director. No one's keeping score, but I believe it was a good relationship that we had together. I have one handout with those accomplishments. I just wanted to hand out here, and then we won't go over them tonight, but I want you to keep this in memory of how good we worked together, what we accomplished in a short period of time. I'm not going to say it's gonna finish every single issue that's out there, but I believe we did our time and due diligence together as a group with the administrator here, as public works director, and with the village board members, 2023 to 2024. I'll pass these out now.
Do we have any questions for Lauren?
Yeah, just a couple. First, good luck wherever you're going. It's, I know you've got probably the world's your oyster, I suppose, for somebody like you. But I do have a question. I sent you an email a couple weeks ago about this hiring of the Von Briesen law firm, and we really don't have an explanation of what's going on there. Will you be making a report before you leave on how they got hired and all the things I asked for in the email?
I'll be working with the handoff exit interview, but before that time, I'll be working with Chris on just ongoing initiatives. I believe all the details of the Von Briesen on village board reports, administrative reports, have been pretty on target with what I've been doing with Von Briesen.
Well, I was just wondering what the purpose of hiring them was when the board said not to.
They said not to when I was a public works director, and said that I would be able to move forward as an administrator when I became village administrator on February the 5th.
My understanding.
Is that what the
on that-
motion was?
My understanding on that was that, yes, initially we had said no, but then we had told him to follow the handbook procedure, which does allow him to hire a third party if needed to look into that, is the understanding I have of it. Is that the way others are remembering this?
That's how I understood it.
The handbook,
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to go into all
Put those
this,
rats
but
between,
but
right?
the-
You're
Yes.
you're
No, we
putting
probably shouldn't get
rats
too far
between-
into it, it's just not really on the chart.
What?
We shouldn't get too far into it,
Well,
because
okay,
it's.
the only thing I
Von
was gonna
Briesen
say
on his report.
is the handbook refers to, HR 009 for the process, and just like my email says, that seems to have been abandoned. And the administrator has a certain dollar amount to work with without permission, of the board, but this far exceeds that. And it was a contract that should have gone to APC and the board. And that's why I was wondering, it was so anomalous, that hoping we could get, an explanation of how that transpired before you leave, so.
Anything else, Ron?
I thought you were gonna say something.
Alright, thanks, Hunter. Moving on to, Community Development Director.
I guess I'll just take any questions.
Yeah, I got basically one for you. You're reviewing the floodplain ordinance. Now, I looked at the model ordinance and the ordinance that the village attorney had made all these changes to, I don't see any benefit to the changes he made, and this has been going on for over a year and a half, and I'm sure you're hoping to get this thing wrapped up, because we got development that wants to move in there.
Yeah.
So, are we just, can we just take that, model ordinance and bring it to the next board meeting and get the thing going?
Yeah, that's the plan. What is it, the planning commission? I discussed it with the planning commission, and they gave me approval to basically, send, the original approved language from May 23rd, 2023 back to the DNR, just to get a final from them, and then to schedule a public hearing. So that it would be the version without the comments, because the comments that were made and suggestions that were made, would not meet the minimum requirements. So I'm gonna go back to square one, basically. And I'm confident that I'll get the green light from the DNR, and I can hold a public hearing. I'm shooting for July, I'm hoping for July.
For it to come to the board, for final approval, or?
Public hearing in July with planning commission, and then be the following village board meeting in that month.
Okay. Well,
Anything else for Pete? All right, move on, Lisa, to the check register.
Any questions?
It's just a comment or two. I'm looking at, for example, page 15, and you've got these account numbers and debits and credits. What is that? And would you be able to, along with the account number, tell us what
So
item it
the
is?
checks above on the check register, it's a summary of which accounts they hit. So if you would pick out a particular check or ACH, I would be able to determine and get back to you guys on which account numbers they hit, but when you're looking at the report itself, it's just a total of all the checks together and what accounts they hit.
Okay, but
It's a summary.
what I'm saying is, when you have account numbers, not just me, but I mean the public who also looks at this, could you put, account number and office supplies, or whatever that line item is? I mean, that
This
would-
is just a report that automatically comes out of the system. There's no, when I run it, the check register out of the system, this is just the summary